Well, the fate of a former Columbus police officer is now in the hands of a jury. In August of 2018, then undercover vice officer Andrew Mitchell picked up Donna Castleberry as part of a solicitation operation. Now, the two fought inside Mitchell's car. He was cut and she was fatally shot. 10 TV's Lacey Crisp has been in the courtroom every day, and she's live now with the very latest on this. Lacey?
Well, after 4 days of testimony, the jury got the case around 2 o'clock this afternoon. The question they will have to decide is if Andrew Mitchell acted in self-defense.
What started as a typical prostitution encounter, soliciting encounter, became atypical because the defendant didn't have his badge, he didn't have his walkie, there was no backup.
But they want to say because he didn't have a badge, he's a murderer.
After 10 witnesses, including 2 use of force experts and the defendant himself, the jury now has the case of the former police officer. During closing arguments, Andrew Mitchell stared straight ahead. About 20 friends and family of Donna Castleberry, who have been in court every day, listened intently. There were also a handful of supporters for Mitchell on the other side of the aisle. In his closing, defense attorney Mark Collins argues even though jurors heard Castleberry screaming for help, her actions said something else.
You look at the conduct. And Kevin Davis said, you look at the conduct. The conduct is resisting. The conduct is noncompliance. The conduct is the slashing. The conduct is the choking. The conduct is getting around to the back where a reasonable police officer would believe that the person's a threat.
Man, oh man. Donna Castleberry's words must be very damaging because they don't want you to consider them at all.
Prosecutor Dan Cable says Mitchell did not reassess the situation when Castleberry moved to the back seat and should not have shot her.
And he did what he decided he was going to do when she was in the front seat, and that is kill her. And he shot until his gun jammed.
And jurors have gone home for the day. They'll continue deliberating tomorrow morning. Reporting live, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
All right, thank you, Lacey. Now, a caveat in Ohio law and the way Mitchell is charged does not allow the jury to find Mitchell guilty of both charges, murder and involuntary manslaughter. Now, the jury has to also consider whether Mitchell's actions were objectively reasonable given the facts and the circumstances.